Hello and welcome to the Abundant Priestess channel. I'm Anuka and it's such a pleasure to have you here. If you're already subscribed to my channel, then you likely know me from my tarot scopes and the astrology updates that I used to post. I am a professional tarot reader working on 4 leading psychic platforms online and earning a pretty abundant income with my tarot readings for the last 5 years. But this channel has always been intended to be a community building channel. Like eventually I want to host retreats. I want to, build this abundant priestess community with like-minded spiritual seekers, mystics, priestesses, priesty, however you want to identify yourself. We're not gender specific here, but I use the term priestess because generally when we're talking about spirituality, we think of it as a kind of feminine thing. And I'll get more into this in the video with the content that I have today. But okay, bear with me. I have a bunch of notes here because this is my first informational content video. So this video is going to be about living your most magical, abundant priestess, priesty life. And this could be applying to you if you are a healer or if you're into mysticism in any way, or if you just want to live a happy life, if you just want to feel good. And keep in mind that, everybody is different. Everybody has their own style. So these are the top aspects. I think I have 9 aspects that have worked for me to really enhance my life and really just enchant the whole life experience, having me feeling like I'm falling in love with life every single day. And so let's just get right into it. So the first aspect of living a magical life for me is belief. So, in Peter Pan, when the Tinkerbell is I think Tinkerbell's sick or something and she needs to be revived, and they're asking the crowd, do you believe in fairies? I'm getting chills as I'm talking about this because I'm so passionate about this topic. So it's do you believe in fairies? Do you believe in fairies? It's magic works best if you really believe in it. And if you believe in something outside of the ordinary or the mundane world, right? So if you are here, you probably believe that there's something more than just what you're seeing at face value in this world. And you believe that there can be, extraordinary experiences, extraordinary being beyond the ordinary or mundane, experiences in life. You can manifest your dreams, you can manifest things, you can manifest people into your life, you can manifest blessings. And when we talk about manifestation, for the very first, or the very essential key to manifestation really is about belief. And just, even if you have to fake it till you make it, that's actually how we trick ourselves into believing things, is by even faking it, an example, when I was younger, I used to think that I was going to be depressed forever. I definitely struggled a lot with depression when I was in my teenage years and then even in my early 20s. And one day I was just so fed up with myself. I was sick of my journal entries even, because it was just so depressing, it was just all about emotions, and there was not even a proper storyline there. So I started to just tell myself that I'm happy. And I just started repeating that to myself. I started believing that I was happy. And I remember one day I just laid on the bed and just kept saying I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm a happy person, I'm a happy person. I just repeated these types of things again and again, happiness, 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 happiness. And it's the more that I said it, the more I believed it. So I really do believe in the power of belief itself. And even if you feel you have to fake it, even if you feel you don't believe, but you need to, trick your mind into, let's get it together. Let's believe that this is possible, right? Because everything is possible. Let me tell you for sure, at least in my reality, I have seen some miraculous things come from belief, from believing in myself and from believing in certain things that I was, trying to cultivate and manifest. So the mind is such a powerful tool. I feel I'm not a scientist. I always say that. I'm not a mystic. I'm not a historian. I can't pull out the facts for you, but I do know that I have heard quite a bit that the brain waves are so powerful that you could literally just by even observing something, it changes, or it changes the way that it's acting, just by even like being aware of something itself. And, you know, awareness can also be like a tricking yourself to believing into something, you know, but like mindset is so powerful. Okay. So aside from belief, number 2, my point for living a magical life is to be playful like a child. So when we talk about being childlike, it's not about being immature, but like, think of how children are when they're playing. They're having so much fun. They're losing themselves in their activities. They're laughing, they're running around, they're super energetic. They're, you know, curious, you know, creative, you know, they're literally like playing house and like, you know, using little like objects as if and making them talk and have voices and stuff. So it's like, you know, just living in a more like playful mindset and being less serious literally can transform your life and make it just more fun and more magical, more, you know, serendipitous even. Let me see. So, oh yeah, so the point about adulting. So like, yeah, okay, we can't just be like immature for life. We do eventually have to be adult-like, or we can choose to be adult-like and probably get some more things done in our life than just, you know, floating around in this playful attitude all day long. But I really believe that even like the most serious of adults are just like pretending. Like they had to eventually, like maybe they were really serious as you know, children because it grew up in like a harsh or rigid household, and then they just like had to already like build this tough exterior and be like, okay, life is serious, I have to, you know, do these things and make these achievements, and then everything has to be perfect and in order, you know, like like I feel like adults seek like perfectionism, or to be like adult like is to like have everything figured out and be perfect. It's like, no, like to live a magical life, we want to still be curious. We want to still be like a forever student, forever child. Like we want to learn, we want to continue exploring in life. If you already know everything that there is to know and you're already, you know, set up with everything, like, yeah, how is that fun? You know, I mean, I feel like even just like meeting people that are different than ourselves, like that also like just expands our mind and expands our consciousness and our awareness. And yeah, so be playful like a child. Don't ever feel like you just have to grow up to be like accepted by society. Society will also cherish the childlike energy within you. Also too, like when you are experiencing childlike energy, it's not like you're literally stupid or like young or, you know, just completely innocent. Like you are wise. So it's like you could switch it up at any time. Like don't think that just because you're going to be playful and fun and, you know, seeming whimsical and silly that like nobody's going to take you seriously, because they will take you seriously the moment that you literally like cut the shit and you're like, okay, like this is the real deal, you know? Like when you need to get serious, you can get serious. And that's also, it comes in another point about like not being too much of just like one thing, but to actually be like versatile. But yeah, like so being childlike, like there isn't like anything to fear about being childlike. It's just gonna bring, you know, fun vibes into your life. Like, and think about also, like children are usually really happy, like unless they're traumatized children, they're usually really happy and fun. Like if you bring that energy into any space that you walk into, like the eyes of the room are gonna be on you. Like and you're gonna literally light up people's faces. Like you walking into a space where there's, you know, 10 people and you're like, hey, what's up? You know, and you're like, oh my God, I just had the best day. Blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, the only negative thing that could come from that is like some bitter person is going to be like, what's she so happy about? You know, but like usually people want to be around happy people. So yeah, and you can also just like enchant any space that you're in, like be magical by being happy, fun, playful, childlike, and not too serious. Okay. Then point number 3. So train your intuition. Your intuition is literally the key to your most magical life. You know, like these are all important keys, but intuition is essentially like the language that the universe and you are communicating with. So like learn the language of the universe, you know, universe, God, source, energy, whatever, by training your intuition to understand like to realize what is an intuitive hit and what is something that is like interfering, or what is like a word. Yeah, interference can be like doubts, worries, or inhibitions, you know. It could be like negative projections from other people, but your intuition will always tell you what is right. So this also goes along with my very strong philosophy about anti-authority. Like, there is no authority except for our own intuition, our connection with God. I always say that, and that's like what this tattoo means. Actually, people always ask me, like, are you Jewish? Like, no, I'm not Jewish. This is a magical symbol. And it means that, like, I am protected always by my own inner guidance. Like, I never will take anything else that somebody else says, especially if they're like, if it's like some control-based thing or some protocol-based thing, like everything has to be like this. No, like, I literally feel like I give no authority away to anybody. Having said that, I do know how to play the game of life, and I know that there is such a thing as like police and, you know, there are like laws that you want to try to, like, if you're going to navigate around it, you better be really tactful. You also better be like safe and not doing anything that's going to get you, you know, potentially like hurt you or hurt somebody else. So yeah, back to the point of intuition. Like, training your intuition actually is like training your own inner sense of security to help lead you and navigate you away from danger and towards the best possibilities in life. So how do we train our intuition? There's so many ways to do this, but first of all, being playful, going back to the last point, that's definitely a way to start getting acquainted with your intuition, because when you're playful, when you're not too serious, you're thinking like, okay, nothing so bad is going to happen by like just following a natural impulse. And so you like play with that idea. You just like go with it a little bit. To understand if like intuition is actually working for you, or like if it is an intuitive hit, you will get signs from the universe that will affirm the choice that you were making in that moment. So say you have a couple of options. So let's just use a simple example, playing with energy, like, should I go down this street or that street to go home? Because you just never know what's going to happen. Like, these are literally destiny shifts. Every single moment, every decision that you make is a complete destiny shift in your life. So, and likely, you know, universe will like navigate you and redirect you, and you'll keep aligning back towards like center. But still, these like micro changes in every little moment to moment intuitive impulses are going to, you know, impact and shape your reality a little bit more and a little bit more. So the more that you're on track with your intuition, the more that you're going to get those yes signals from the universe, the more that you're going to get those affirmations that like, okay, yes, this is like, that was the right choice, because, oh my gosh, like, I just received the biggest blessing ever. The biggest blessing could even be like, say you go down the one street and then somebody asks you like for money, and like for some reason you just feel like, okay, I'm going to give this person $1, like at the window. And they look into your eyes and they say, bless you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Like, sometimes that's like the biggest blessing. Like, have you ever smiled at somebody and they smile back at you, or they smiled at you and you smiled at them, and you like walk away feeling like, oh my God, I'm getting chills again. It's like, I feel so good. Like, that was such a beautiful moment, you know? Like, follow your instincts, you know, follow your intuition, try to get out of your head and more into your heart. So another way to start developing your intuition is to find the balance between what you really desire, like what your heart wants, and what your mind is telling you. I see intuition as a very much like the middle way between desire and knowledge. Somehow, like it like intuition is also like the middle path between like destiny and free will, because this is like the age-old philosophical debate, free will or destiny. I really feel like there is some kind of path in between where we are like co-creating with the universe. There is something that like we do have a destiny, but we also have this free will. And the more that you are like operating with your intuition, you're literally being like guided towards things that are meant for you. And also like, it's still like you're creating like an art piece out of your life. That's like actually coming into another point too. So I'll talk about how to make an art piece out of your life. But yeah, so training your intuition, okay? I'll share a fun example. So like a couple of months ago, I randomly like went online and was researching like about poker in New York City. Like, I wanted to join a poker club because I have haven't played poker since like college, and I just really like it. I've always liked it. And I used to play in a friendly game, and yeah, I just like don't even have like that many people that I know here because I just moved here last year. So anyway, I sought out this poker club online, and then I ended up going to a game. And okay, like they gave away these like different picks for things, like, or I don't know if they like pulled something out of a bag. They like do these different things, and they just like start giving you gifts and freebies. And like I've won like $50 like 3 times in the 2 times that I've been there, just from like them selecting these things. One of them I actually manifested because I was like thinking seat number 2, and he like pulls it out. He's like, seat number 2. It was like twice in a row I had won that $50. Anyway, so they're doing these like random things. One of them was a Super Bowl pick. So yeah, I guess this was like 3 months ago or something, or whatever, before the Super Bowl. So they gave me a choice randomly for the Super Bowl, and I like didn't even know, I still don't know how these like numbers work for the betting, but I just like saw a table full of numbers. It was like you had to like bet, and it was some kind of like something related to like the distance between the scores, or I don't know what they call these numbers in sports betting. Anyway, I just picked my birthday. I picked 15. So number 15. So I didn't think anything of it. I like went on vacation. I just lived my life. I literally didn't think about this pick that I made, but they did say like, call back after the Super Bowl and see if you won. So I didn't call, but randomly, like on another day, like I had actually been out of work for a few days, because usually I work online. I make my own schedule. So I ended up not wanting to work that night. I wanted to go to poker again, even though I had like lost at the actual poker game the one night and like lost $100. I was just like, I'm gonna go. I just feel like playing. I don't know why. I just like, and I have learned to trust my intuition. Like if I'm really feeling something, I go with it. I don't even question it anymore, most of the times. So this time I followed my intuition. Thank God I did, because I showed up, and literally within 5 minutes of being there, somebody hands me the phone, and I felt like I was on that TV show. Wasn't there a TV show like in the 90s, for those of you who are in my age range or older? But there was like this show where like Ed McMahon would come and drop like a $25,000 check on people's doorstep, or just like go and deliver a check. So like somebody hands me the phone, somebody's phone. I'm like, he's like, this is for you. I'm like, hello? And he's like, Anu? Yeah. Oh, well, you're the winner of the Super Bowl pick. Do you remember that you placed that bet? And I was like, yeah, I won. That's so crazy. He's like, yeah, $2,500. I'm like, oh, jaw dropped. $2,500? Like, my first thought was, why the hell didn't you guys call me? Like, you have my phone number. Like, this is so crazy. Like, because they had me in their system too. Because when I checked in, they have like your ID and all this stuff. So I'm like, how could you literally not call me and tell me that I won $2,500? So that was really crazy, because it was like, that was like a 3-part intuitive hit moment for me, because it was like, first of all, I had gone there in the first day, and then I placed that bet and won. Second of all, I had like been called again to go to this poker thing. I've only been to this poker place twice. Like I never even went back since this time yet, because I've just been like busy with other things. But yeah, so the second time I went, I like, that happened. And then the third thing that happened was like later, I went to a witch shop in Manhattan, and I went in there and was looking at the candles. They sell these candles. This one is for good luck and love and manifesting money. So they have all these different candles, right? And I went in there to buy like 6 candles, because I was like, wow, the first one really worked for me, because I had realized that like the week before I went to the poker game, I had bought that candle. I didn't associate one thing to the next until much later. But when I went in there and I asked them, hey, by the way, I like picked up the candle that I had originally bought, and I was like, what is this candle good for? Because I was like asking them about these different candles, and they were like, oh, that's good for gambling. Okay, that's so weird, like that I randomly picked the gambling candle, and then yeah, it like brought me $2,500 and the security that I know that I'm like a magical freaking bitch again. I mean, there's been so many of these moments in my life, but yeah, that's just like one really fun example of how intuition has led me towards a huge blessing. So yeah, let's go on to the 4th point. Okay, how to live a magical life. So you need to activate your senses. So we all know the traditional five senses. We have smell, sight, hearing, touch, physical touch, and taste. There's also the sixth sense, which is the intuition that we're going to be developing. As you activate your senses, you become more intuitive. And so how do we activate senses? We beautify our reality. So one concept that I really love that I heard from one of my mentors a few years ago that really stuck with me was the concept of aesthetic nutrients. So being beautiful, or like, and taking time to craft ourselves to be beautiful when we go out into the world, or to beautify our surroundings, bringing flowers into our space, all this stuff. Like, this is one way to really like bring nourishment to ourselves, because like what we take in with our eyes is also nourishing. Like, if you imagine if you were like in a really like ugly gray hotel room. I'm like remembering this time I was in in Jaipur, which is like a really busy city in India, and I was staying in this like horrible hotel room, like the worst that I can ever like remember. And it was just like gray. It felt like a dungeon. Like, that was the most uninspiring place. Side note, I won't go too much into this story, but my intuition literally led me away from there and up into the Himalayas 2 days before lockdown happened, and I was there for 4 months. So like, if I would not have followed my intuition at that moment, I could have literally been stuck in that dungeon for 4 months instead of like in beautiful Himalayas, like smoking tons of hash and just like making jewelry and like hiking and doing, just like, I literally had the most magical lockdown experience when COVID came. So yeah, back to activating the senses. Another way, like, there's just so many ways that we can do this, but yeah, like having really like tasty and nourishing foods. Let's see, taking ritual baths, like, and even your baths, you can think about incorporating all of the senses into the bath. So you can make your tea, you can, have your candles lit, you can have essential oils or incense burning. I like to use essential oil salts. And what's the other ones? Oh yeah, so smell, taste, touch. I mean, the bath feels so good. And then yeah, like having amazing music, or some motivational lecture, or yeah, like some sound healing instruments on, or a subliminal online YouTube thing. So I also used to take showers by the way. I always want to tell people this, because I'm like, showers can be so magical. Like, because I had this bathroom that at my last place that like didn't have any natural lighting in there, so it would be like a dungeon, and I would just like, I almost miss that bathroom now. It's weird. I was so happy to finally have a window in my bathroom, but at this place, because we have so much light in this apartment, but like at that last place, I actually kind of miss now that bathroom experience, because it would be like, I would just like close myself in there and put the candles on and put the the fan with the incense going, so I wasn't just like suffocating myself with the smoke. And then I would like, yeah, put the candles, put the music, and I would just have such a sensual experience with my everyday shower. And I definitely did that like when I needed to like goddess myself up, when I needed to amp my energy up for a special occasion. And sometimes I just did it when I was like feeling tired or whatever, but like 3 times a week I would do these showers, these special showers. So okay, another way to activate the senses is by romanticizing life. Just like, think of life like a romance. Like, think of romancing yourself. A lot of you have heard of like the 5 love languages, probably, because it's a pretty popular psychology relationship model. So we receive love in different ways. Usually we receive love in all 5 ways, but like we're stronger in receiving and giving in certain aspects. So there's there's like words of affirmation, quality time, gift giving. So love yourself in the way that you would love your partner, or even better yet, like how you would love your child, if imagining that, you really have this like nurturing, desire to nurture. So self-nurturing is so important. And it really helps you to feel like in your romantic energy, in your feminine energy. And feminine energy is so important when we're talking about living a magical life. Their masculine energy, like the world is so masculine. We use masculine energy for a lot of things, like when we need to get stuff done, when we need to be motivated, when we need to, be smart and logical. But you know, the feminine, I feel like this world is more set up for like the masculine energy, and like when we step more into our feminine space, that is where we are becoming more magical. So even if you're like the most masculine guy who identifies as a man in all things, you like, if you want to really create magic in your life, then you want to become more sensual and feminine in some aspects, or like become in tune with your feminine side. Okay, anything I missed on that one? Oh yeah, just romanticizing life. Yeah, like make your art life like an art piece. And on that note, like some of the biggest like mistakes or like moments when you just felt like the world was falling apart or like something wasn't working out, that actually created somehow like the perfect template. Like destruction created the perfect template for piecing together something new. And some of my greatest like art piece projects in my life came from complete and total disaster. Some of the biggest blessings in my life came behind perceived failures. Like I've been fired from God knows how many jobs, like at least like 3 that I can think of. And being fired from a job actually is like the biggest blessing ever. I think. And anytime I have like clients that come to me and they're like just got fired or something, I'm like, wow, like hang tight because your life is about to transform. Because like we're so dedicated to our work usually. You know, if we're motivated people, we usually want to like see opportunities through, and sometimes we're even miserable in jobs where we still stay there. So, you know, like it can be really hard to like walk away. So when universe like comes in and relieves you of this like giant obligation, like because we work what like half of our lives or something, then you free up so much space. It's like if you're holding something, if you're like holding on to one thing, you don't have space to be receiving. So like universe is like, drop it priest, drop it priestess, and get ready for some blessings to come in. Like open up your hand for these blessings. Yeah, just like real quick, the one job that I got fired from was a restaurant job that I had worked for 3 years, and I was just becoming like a bitter server. This was like years ago when I was in college. I was becoming a bitter waitress, and I had decided to quit school and move my things into storage actually, and like move in with my family for a few months to save some money so that I could backpack Europe. And basically one thing led to another. I lost my job because I was like really angry and was like, you know, hustling some like table that didn't tip me like a single thing. And like went up to them like, is your service okay? Blah, blah, blah. And then like later was like talking about it in the side station. My manager overheard me and was like upset, and that was like, that's the final straw, you're done for, and fired me. I ended up getting the best serving job that I could at that time, making like way more money. Like I made like at least like a whole third more, if not like double the money that I was making at the other restaurant job. And that gave me the money in like the money that I needed to travel in a shorter period of time, so that by the time I really like felt another whole intuitive wave, when I was so sick of my life, I was so depressed, I was like, I'm getting out of here, I'm going to Europe, I'm going on a one-way ticket. I finally just like had the courage and the strength and the resources, the money to be able to do it. There's so much that happened like on that journey too. I'm sure I'll get into all these stories like during later videos. Another time when it really like when getting fired was a blessing was when I was working on these farms out in California, and I ended up getting fired from one of the best jobs that I had ever there. And it still is a job that I mourn. I was like, dang, I could have made so much money if I didn't get fired from there. The next years that I went back, I could have done well, but like I had to get fired because you don't get your time back. And that year I was already being faced with this like really like the most challenging thing I've ever experienced actually. Like my dad was really sick and ended up passing like 6 months later. But like prior to that, like 6 or 8 months before was when I ended up getting fired from this job. I would have like, if I didn't get fired from that job, I would have continued to work for 2 more months. And even though that sounds like a short amount of time, that was really precious time that I had with my dad. That went like, because I got fired, I was able to like justify going home and being there. And like we lived together at my dad's house before we went into hospice. And it's just like I feel like it was like the biggest blessing ever that I got fired from that job. And at the time it seemed like a mistake. It seemed like, you know, I felt really bad about myself that I had made this mistake, but I knew intuitively even then, I was like, yeah, I have to go home though anyway. So okay, I need to continue getting through these points. So we're at number 5, living in abundance versus scarcity. So Abundance mentality. I'm going to make like whole videos on abundance mentality and how to cultivate it but I'm going to talk about why it's important, because when you're living in abundance mindset, you believe that there is more than enough of everything out there. There's more than enough money. There's more than enough recognition that can come your way, and people that can, like recognize you, or clients, or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in the world. There is more than enough of it. Even if you're making YouTube videos for the first time and you're like, there's already so many people making videos on this exact subject. Like I just looked up today, like how to live a magical life. There's like so many videos online, but I don't care. Like this is going to get views and people will see it and the community will come in. The Abundant Priestess community is developing and growing. Yeah, so there's more than enough to go around. So another reason for why it's important is because you want to continue believing in yourself. Like you want to continue building that belief. So I'll just share like one quick tool to like reframe your mindset. If you feel like you're living more in scarcity, or if you feel like you don't have enough money, or you feel, like start telling yourself a story like that you do have money. And for example, just like, as an example, say like there's a car that you really, really want to buy, and it's like $50,000, like, or even your dream car. Let's go above that. Let's say there's like $100,000, $120,000 dream car that you want to buy. Instead of saying that car is expensive, or instead of saying I can't afford that, like there's this whole method. I don't know if this is official, but I call it the I can ... I choose method. So it's like you reframe your thoughts to I can afford that and I'm choosing not to. And you can like use this in your everyday life too. Like if you're, walking around, like for example, in Manhattan, there's like loads of places that are selling like thousands of dollar, clothing items that I would love to buy. Not like luxury designers, but like, really amazing like boutique, what do you want to, like artisan, like one of a kind pieces, right? That's the kind of clothing that I love. So, but like if I walk into a place and I'm like, whew, okay, that jacket's like thousands of dollars. Like I'm, like I literally could buy that. I actually literally could buy that, but I choose not to. But I could easily look at that and think like, I can't afford that right now, or like whatever. Anyway, that's not even how I think anymore. But like, I do remember when I used to think like that. And so, yeah, like I hear it a lot. I hear the people talking a lot, like saying like, oh, that's too much money. Like I've even within my family, like I've had to help like reframe people's abundance mindset. Cause like we're trying to change all perspectives, like for even our future generations, right? This is like generational mindset wealth. Okay. Like we can literally train ourselves to be abundant. And also the other thing about abundance, which is great, is that when you're abundant, when your abundance frequency goes up, so too does it go up for everyone around you, because it's like a ripple effect. Like I think I heard sometime, again, I don't know where, I hear a lot of things, but it's like that you're like most like the 5 people that you associate with. So like if you become abundant, or if like hang out with abundant people, abundance mindset people, positive minded people, you will start to adopt more of those traits. And likewise, like when you become more abundant, and you will share your abundance mindset with others, and just by existing, just literally simply by being and being excited about life, like you will notice a dramatic difference in the people around you. You might even repel some people away. Like some people might just like fall out of your life. This does also, by the way, take a long time. Like if you're coming from the depths of it, if you feel like severely depressed or anything like that, like it's going to take time to rework all of this and to rework your brain. Like it could take months, years. You could speed this all up with, some of the tools that I'm sharing with you now, but like just trust the process. Always trust the process. And it may take time, but like you are building the blocks for success. Okay, another philosophy I have about abundance is like doing what you love, the money will follow. And I say this all the time, like do what you love, the money will follow. I can't even like tell you how surprised I am still. I'm still surprised. Like every day I feel so grateful. I'm like, wow, how did I manifest this life from being like a lower middle class girl from Ohio? And I feel like I've done so much. Like I've literally like done laps around the world, traveled in like more than 35 countries. I've made significant amounts of money in my life. I've been so lucky. I've trained myself to be lucky. And all I did was follow my heart. All I did was follow my passions. Like when I had one of my biggest spiritual awakenings when I was in my college years when I decided to backpack Europe and, you know, like abandon everything and quit school and all this stuff that was really risky. I did it because I knew that like that was truly in my heart calling to me. And I already knew about intuition at that point. Like I've always been spiritual. I've been blessed to have grown up in a family where I had some really strong spiritual mentors that helped to guide me from an early age in mindset and all of these things and spiritual awareness. So I already knew about intuition. So like when those thoughts came to me, I followed them and I already trusted. I was like, something really good is going to come from this. Like I just had a feeling. I was like, my life is going to transform if I just like trust this now. And yeah, I mean, it's been so magical, so magical. So yeah, do what you love, the money will follow. Just really briefly, like to give you like an idea of how this all worked out. I went on that first trip to Europe. I had jewelry with me that I had already started making in preparation, because I was like, after I spent the money that I had already saved up, I knew that I was going to need to continue to make money on the road if I really wanted to travel for like a year, because that was my goal at that time. I wanted to just backpack around for a year. So I went to Europe backpacking, selling jewelry on the street for like 3 years. That led me to my trimming career. I ended up trimming weed in California for like 9 years after that. That like supported my whole lifestyle. It was like finding my dream job, especially at like 23, 24 years old. Like now I wouldn't see it as my dream job, but back then it was like, oh my God, I can sit and trim weed and make so much money and like just stack up savings, and then I can go and travel for 6 months and I don't have a lease, I don't have, you know, responsibilities, I don't have any, like, I can, yeah, that's gonna be a whole other video about like my life, you know, story. But I went from trimming weed to then like following the tarot career. And wow, like the tarot was a whole other thing. Like I never imagined that just by like reading tarot, I would make as much money, if not more, than I was trimming weed. Because weed was already good money for me, like when I was in my 20s. And then when I started reading tarot online and like progressively got more and more clients and reviews and the practice and everything, and became a really good reader, then like now it's just like I see a whole future of potential. Just like there's so many things that I can do just with tarot alone, but also with like healing arts and just like just so many things, retreats. I have a lot of ideas, and right now this is working for me, but like stay tuned. Like life is just getting better and better and better. But like all of this just happened because I followed my heart, and I didn't, you know, listen to that little like voice of doubt in my mind from years ago that was saying to me, like, go back to school. Like, what if you know, screw up your whole life? Like, what if you know, end up needing to live at your family's house, or like whatever, like having to live on food stamps for the rest of your life, or whatever. Like, if I would have listened to the fear at that time, like especially after I came back from my first big backpacking trip and I came back to real life and I had this huge come down and I was depressed and I'm like, oh my God, like what am I doing with my life? And like even just gaining the momentum to go back out there and do it all again. Like I made more jewelry, I like went out there, I was like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm just gonna travel, because I literally feel like there's still something more, like there's still something coming for me. And boy, there was. Yes, there was. Okay, another abundance hack is gratitude. There's like loads of videos on this. I'll make a video too at some point about gratitude. But yeah, gratitude is like one of the biggest abundance hacks. Just being so grateful for what you have, you know, like even if you can't think of a single thing to be grateful for, like, yes, you can though, you can. You know, think of like worse people in worse situations. That's like the easiest way to think about it. It's like be grateful that you have like clean water to drink, okay? Because, you know, I've seen those videos. I actually like give to a charity every month for because they hooked me with these terrible videos of people that are living in Africa like drinking like brown water, just like, and they're like developing growths on them, and they have like all these children that they can't even like feed properly, and the children are sick, and that it's so sad. Like, so you know, like look to the worst situations possible, like, and think, wow, thank God, like I have this body, I have like 10 fingers, and wow, I have like, you know, these legs that are working and I'm able to walk, and like, thank God I'm not balding yet, and thank God, you know, like I'm breathing well and I can breathe through my nose, you know, like whatever it is, like just think of the most simple things to be grateful for, and really like being grateful is going to lead you to a more abundant life. I'm sure of it. Okay, let's move it along. So wellness is another key factor, a very key factor. Wellness, and like specifically wellness with like natural ingredients, products, foods, eating whole foods. This is like very key to living a magical life, in my opinion. I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there that's like, I eat McDonald's every day and I live a magical life. Okay, that's fine for you. But like most of the magical people that I know, the people that really truly feel super magical in their lives, care so much about their bodies, and they care about like what they're everything from like what they put on their bodies to like what they put in their minds, like what they're feeding themselves, regarding content, and or if you're like watching movies and stuff, like a lot of like really light and bright-minded people don't like to watch super like dark or like malicious, twisted torture type stuff. Like, I mean, again, there might be somebody out there who's an exception to the rule. Like, I live a magical life and I love torture movies. Okay, that's fine for you too. But yeah, so why wellness? Because when we are nourishing ourselves with natural foods, whole foods, nutrient dense foods and drinks, and elixirs, and when we're praying over our food, when we're like putting good intention into meals that we're making, this is like the most enchanting experience, because like it literally will be like what you eat is what you are, right? Or what you are is what you eat. There's like an old saying. So it's like, if you want to be magical, like you're working with nature, you're working with natural rhythms. You like to spend time in nature. You like to eat natural foods, using natural products. Like I try to use mostly all natural products. Every once in a while I'll use a fluoride toothpaste just in case, for the whitening, but mostly like natural everything is the goal. And like I use shea butter for my skin, and it just like makes it so soft. It's just like the most pure item. Or if I don't have shea butter around, I'll use like olive oil. You can, like work with what you have. Don't think that you have to go out and get all these like, super high-end natural products. Like literally simplify it, get simple with it. Nature is simple, and it's like, it's working with its own natural rhythms too. Like actually one of the biggest things that finally, or hacks to like living a magical and abundant life that I have found, is working with natural rhythms. So this goes along with wellness. Like if you're like doing the same thing every single day, that's very masculine energy. Feminine energy doesn't work like that. Like the cycles of the moon are literally like more aligning to like feminine energy, in the sense that everything's coming in waves. Everything happens in waves, right? So like rather than doing like the same thing every day that's very like block-like and structured, like, by the way, that's like, I think another thing I heard, that like men kind of, or like the masculine mind, like a traditional masculine mentality is like thinking in blocks, and like women like have this more natural ability, or the feminine mindset has this ability to like see how everything is connected. So like actually the feminine energy is the higher consciousness, because we see how everything's connected, but the masculine energy is good for structure and things. There's a time for structure, and there's also a time to flow. But if you really want to be in natural rhythms and be able to follow those intuitive impulses moment to moment, then be aligned with nature's rhythms. So and there's so many ways to do that. Honestly, I need to keep this video moving, but I will speak more on that later as well. So but like for one thing, if you're tired, and you don't have to be somewhere, we don't actually have to do anything, we get to do things, but like if you're tired, like literally cancel plans if you need to. If you're feeling exhausted, that's your body's intuitive signal that you need time to rest. Okay, if you're feeling super energized and you feel like you need to do something with that energy, but you don't have anything to do, like go work out, or just like move your body, or like dance in front of the mirror, do something. But like whatever you're feeling intuitively, like do that. Like don't go against it, or don't like justify it. Like say you have like a whole lot of energy, but it's like, oh, you have to sit and study. Like, it may not be the moment to study. It may be the moment to go, run a mile or go dancing or something like that. Okay. So trust your natural rhythms. Also with wellness, like, yeah, giving quality time to yourself, that goes along with, beautifying your life and like, loving yourself and romanticizing yourself. But yeah, learn to spend a lot of quality time with yourself and how to love quality time with yourself. Learn to not be so much in the energy of seeking external stimulation, but like going inward and really like being with yourself, like all the answers are within us. It's not outside of us. So when we talk about like a true wellness mindset, it's like we like to be well is to feel good, like within our bodies, and to feel, and the wellness is also like mental wellness, it's emotional wellness, it's spiritual wellness, it's physical wellness, right? Okay. Also, going along with wellness, I do want to like make a point about like selfishness, because I feel like sometimes, like if we're caring too much for ourselves, it can appear like we're being selfish, and like there's such a negative connotation in the society about being selfish. But I feel like it's really important to be absorbed in a lot of ways. Like if you really are taking very good care of yourself, it could take like most of the day to even do like wellness routines and certain things, or you might like break them up over like the course of a week and do different things on different days. But there's a lot of like focus that is going towards you. If you're a really spiritual person and you really want to live a magical life, like you want to spend a lot of time with yourself, and that may appear selfish to some people, and you might have to set healthy boundaries with others too. But again, you know what's best for you, and so don't feel like obligated or feel like you have to do anything really, especially if it's like to satisfy other people or to like fulfill some obligation that you feel like you never even wanted to do in the first place, right? It's like, I don't know why it's reminding me of like the contracts law, because like I remember like my one friend is like studying law, and I'm like, blah blah blah, the contract, it was in the contract, and she's like, like my professor told me like contracts are meant to be broken. And that's like how I really feel about like rules in general. That's why I don't really like subscribe to rules. Like I do get like that things generally should be in some sort of like rhythm or order, in order for things to flow well, then there should be maybe a little bit of order. But I also love chaos too, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, I love chaos. I could see why order is there, why there are like rules in place, but still I feel like there's exceptions to every rule, and I also feel like I'm an exceptional person, so I get to be exceptional. You might feel that way too. You might resonate. I know there's a Virgo out there right now, like some Virgo person who's like, I follow the rules all the time and I live a magical life. Okay, that's you, honey. You follow the rules. Okay. Find time to be creative. Yeah, like create time for yourself, like invest in yourself, really, like invest in your wellness. This is all very important. Okay, I'm going to move on. Natural rhythms, connecting with nature. I actually already spoke on this, but this was my 7th point, and I feel like it does involve a whole slew of different concepts, including like moving with natural rhythms of astrology, specifically your astrology too. Like if you don't know your birth chart, it could be really good to I highly suggest to like look up your chart to see where the planets were at the time of your birth, so that you can use that to compare to where the planets are now. And like sometimes you might be surprised because like a planet like Jupiter, for example, that takes a long time, like months to move through a sign, could be in your home sign. I say Jupiter because that just happened to me. Jupiter was in Gemini recently. It just switched into Cancer, but Jupiter was also in Gemini at the time of my birth, and Jupiter is about expansion and how we relate in the world, and it's like incorporating social energy and abundance energy. And actually, like I had my most abundant month where I made like over $10,000 the first time. I was so happy because that was something I'd been manifesting for years during my Jupiter return. So when my Jupiter was in Gemini recently in the last months. So it's like being aware of these things, of like where the planets are and how that is like affecting you and how that might affect you specifically based on your chart. It can really help you to like discover the meaning and to just understand better why certain things are happening at certain times. And then, yeah, like know when to slow down, know when to speed up. There's like the perfect I really believe in like perfect timing, that there is like a way to catch the ideal moment. When you're flowing intuitively, I feel like everything is like aligning, right? And you'll get those signs. You'll get signs from the universe. It'll be like, you know, you look at your phone and it's like 11:11. At the time, like if you see master numbers, or if you see synchronicities or like repetitive patterns in your life, like that is universe speaking to you. So you'll know that you are on the right track. You know that you're catching those perfect moments, and you're probably getting blessed. Like you probably know it because you're literally like receiving blessings, and you know, money's flying out of the sky at you and stuff. Or you met your soulmate or whatever. Okay, moving on. Oh yes, natural rhythms. So like stop trying to force things. This is like a great way to live a magical life, is to just like stop trying to chase things that are not meant for you. This is basically like all I do. I feel like sometimes online, it's getting better because I actually, as we're having this like collective awakening, people are really stepping into their purpose more, and they're like wanting to connect more spiritually, and they're wanting to find a deeper meaning to things. So like it's but like I a lot of what I do online is like reading for people that are stuck in you know, love fantasies with these people that are like no longer in their lives, or with people that don't really want them. And it's like universe is literally trying to tell you and shake you like, hey, stop wasting your time, stop chasing things that are not meant for you. But like this is a really, really big thing. Like if you want to be in line with natural rhythms, if you want to live a magical life, you really need to start learning to let go. And this is something that I'm constantly learning too, because, you know, I'm a lover. I've definitely like chased people. I've like wanted people to come back that were like disappeared and stuff. But like, just, you know, it's a learning process. But like, we have to trust that what is meant for us is going to align. It's going to actually appear like an invitation. So to counter the whole thought of like chasing in general, it's like learn to, receive invitations, like learn to understand like when universe is like actually speaking to you and calling to you towards something. Like if you're trying to like, say you're trying to like get in touch with somebody, you've been waiting for this text message and waiting for it, and you've been like working on your manifestations, trying to get this person to reach out to you, like it's literally wasting your time. And I feel like, you know, there's so many more valuable things to do, and you could literally be like holding space for somebody that's just never going to add value to your life anymore. I think I missed a point, or I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, moving on. So maintain mystery. So this is another way to live a magical life. This is actually a philosophy that I read in a book by Carlos Castaneda. Does he write these books? Or he was like the guy that, or Carlos Castaneda was the character in the book with, Journey to Exelon, and I don't know, I can't think of like the books, but my uncle really loves them and shared them with me from a young age. Anyway, Don Miguel Ruiz is coming later. Don Juan is like this magical wizard like guy in the books, Journey to Exelon and Carlos Castaneda's Awakening. Don Juan is Carlos Castaneda's mentor, and he, in one of the books, said that like in order to be magical, I'm paraphrasing for sure, but like in order to be magical, you want to be remaining in the mystery. Like you don't want people to think that they have you figured out. So you don't want to be too transparent about anything that you're doing. The more transparent that you are, the more that people know about you, the more that energy can be used against you. Unfortunately, that's just like a fact of life. And this isn't to say like don't be authentic or don't be transparent or don't, you know, be yourself and don't like share about your life. I mean, I'm literally making a whole channel on here about to be sharing a lot of like intimate, dirty details about my life. But, you know, like maintaining mystery is so powerful. It's like, and in any case, I'm Scorpio. Like, look, I have like layers and layers and layers and layers to me. So it's like, even if people think they had me figured out on one aspect, like, or if I shared like so much about my life, but you would never, ever know what's really going on. And also I switch up my life a lot. I switch up things. I switch up my hairstyle. I switch up, you know, like the way I dress, like, you know, everything is different from year to year. You know, sometimes I'm in an all black phase. Sometimes I'm like wearing all of a certain color. Like sometimes I'm living out in the country. Like literally the last place that I was living was like way out in the country in North Carolina, like where there's like my closest neighbors were graves, literally ghosts. It was such a ghosty town. There were like graveyards around me, and I was like out in the middle of nowhere. And when I tell you, like when I moved to New York City, and like so many people in my life, when I told them that I moved to New York, they were like, oh my God, I never expected that you would live in New York. Like, you seem like such a natural girl. And I'm thinking like, girl, you have no idea. Like, I have so many facets to me, you know, like I literally moved here to live my like most fabulous Sex in the City lifestyle, like just like manifest my dreams, like level up my life, be around motivating people. Like, I was tired of being in hippie flow, honestly. And I love nature, believe me, I love nature, but like I don't miss it right now because this is seriously what I needed for my life at this time. I love the action of the city. I love the busyness and the, you know, excitement. But yeah, there's a lot of people in my life who would have never expected that, even after knowing me for many years. So it's like, yeah, be mysterious, you know, don't let people know what you're thinking. This also is like going along with, you know, like philosophy within dating too. Like, you don't want to be too transparent and obvious when you're dating, because like there's more fun in the mystery. Like, being mysterious is more, there's more energy to be playful. There's more room to, you know, have fun with what you're doing in life, and have fun with like perception too, and like playing with like the way that people might perceive you and like how you want to, you know, come across out in the world. Another way to maintain mystery, I'm just going to throw this in there because I actually like meant to make a whole point about it, but about travel. But like, travel is so important for living a magical, mystical life. I feel like, you know, when you are experiencing new things, you're like expanding your awareness. You are you know, broadening your perspectives and other people's perspectives too. Like, each person is living their own little universe. So it's like when you are able to travel and get outside of yourself and your own limited reality, then you become like, with like, your limits expand. So you actually become like eventually more and more and more limitless. And yeah, being limitless goes along with being mysterious, goes along with being in the magical realms where we can manipulate and make everything, craft everything, co-craft everything. We can't craft everything. Sometimes the universe literally hands us something like, hey, nope, this is the way. Okay, you don't get what you want, you get what you know, need, or whatever it is. But yeah, so anyway, be mysterious. Okay. Oh my gosh, be mysterious. Yeah, like there's something else I want to say about your eyes too. Like, the eyes are the window to the soul. Eyes are so, so powerful. You don't even have to speak. You can be more mysterious by speaking with your eyes. You know, be with, like, have more expressions, be a person that wears expressions on their face more, so that people can, you know, pick up context clues without having to have you say exactly what it is. Like, you know, like that, like typical, like, I don't know what I want to say. Like that, like if a mother like just looks at her child and the child like does what she wants because he knows that like it's just a look that she gives, like that is so much more powerful than her saying, sit down and do that thing or whatever it is, like, or be quiet, you know, like she just gives that look. It's not the time. So, yeah, like be mysterious by just speaking less and communicate more with different ways. Communicate with you telepathically too. There have been times where I had to be, well, I say had to be, but like, it's like I chose to be a certain way so that and a certain outcome would happen. And yeah, you can call it manipulation, whatever, but like, that's like basically what we're doing when we're living a magical life too. We're like learning to manipulate things and like work with different energies. But okay, like one time I literally had to back up a friend, so much so because otherwise my friend was gonna be like in pretty deep trouble with a whole crowd full of people. My friend was telling a story. I honestly thought they were a little bit like batshit at the moment. Like, I was like, where is my friend going with this? This is really crazy. People were looking over to me to see how I was reacting because that was my best friend. And it's like, if I looked at them like, girl, you're crazy, like people would have then started treating my friend as if my friend was crazy. And like, they would have started valuing the energy less. Oh my God, that was scary. I don't know what that was. So I think that was an Amazon package, but that's what really scared the crap out of me. So people were looking to me to see like how I was reacting to my friend's like episode basically. And I just stood there stone-faced, like just like staring, like expressionless and but expressionless, but also just like, yeah. Like with that, like my eyes were saying yes. yes to the things that my friend was saying. Why? Because I'm a good friend. I'm a ride or die. I'm like solid, I'm not gonna like throw my friend under the bus, even if I think that they're being outrageous and crazy, even if I think they're wrong, I'm that type of friend. So yeah, and like literally those people, like my friend did end up basically coming out on top in that experience. Like the people were looking to me. I was like stone-faced, expressionless, and then my friend, like my friend got a lot of like respect out of that moment, more than what would have happened. Actually, it could have gotten really ugly, really bad otherwise. Okay, we're at the 9th point, thank God, because this video is almost an hour long, and this algorithm, like if you're still with me, guys, thank you so much for listening to this whole video, because I know it's been very long. This is still a pretty new channel for me, and this is my first long form content, informational content. So hopefully, you get getting something out of it, and I would really appreciate it if you are still here, if you would like the video to help, make the algorithms happy and get this message out there to more people. Okay, 9th point, the last one that I have for you today. Words are spells. So we're going to talk about affirmations, and there's a lot to be said about affirmations. There's like so much information online. You can go watch a video about affirmations. You've probably already heard about affirmations if you're even here talking about magic. This is like one of the most basic and key points. But okay, words are spells. So like what you're saying is literally crafting your reality. So going back to the point of like that script that I said, like where I can afford something but I'm choosing not to buy it. You can also like you want to tell yourself the story that you want to believe, even if you feel like you have to fake it till you make it. We're going back through all the points here with these affirmations. There are tools that you can use to like redirect negative thoughts, even to like work towards your benefit. So even if you feel like, okay, I have a negative mindset, I have a scarcity mindset, I'm not living in abundance, I feel like my life is crap. Like I literally have clients that will tell me every once in a while, I get these clients that are like, can you read for my love life? And then I'm telling them and they're like, okay, or like they're asking about a specific person. I'm like, yeah, this person's like not it for you. And they're like, okay, nobody's gonna love me, then I'm gonna be alone forever. And I'm like, girl, stop cursing yourself. Literally stop cursing yourself, because like words are spells, okay? You can redirect those types of thoughts by like channeling them. I always say, like, for every negative thought that you have, like say like 100 times, but like at least 3 times 3. It's like some rule within like magic, like 3 is a very magical number, but like by the power of 3 you can manifest things. So like if you have a negative thought, like I'm fat or something like that, and then you like transform that by redirecting it and just say to yourself, at least 3 times, I love my body, I love my body, I'm so thin, I'm so thin, I'm so thin, or whatever it is, or like, my body is perfect, it's, whatever it is. Okay, so you can transform the way that you look. I just watched a whole video on this the other day by a new magical sister that I've been following online, and she was talking about glamour magic and working with your affirmations in the mirror. So like that is such a powerful way to manifest. And she was saying like transform anything about your face. I actually did this years ago. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this now, but I had the worst accident on my mouth, like in 2015, I think it was. So like 10 years ago, my whole mouth was completely ugly. And I actually I saw the deeper meaning in that. I was like, wow, my ego had got too big at that point. And I was like, why is this happening to me? It's because I was literally speaking like negatively. I was like fighting with my boyfriend a lot. And then like this thing happened, this disaster. My face was like deformed. It was horrible. Like, and I, obviously take a lot of pride in like how I look. I mean, most people do. So it was very humbling. And anyway, I used to sit in front of the mirror and just like cry about my mouth because my lips were so messed up. And I would just tell myself like, my lips are beautiful. My lips are beautiful. My lips are healing to perfection, healing to perfection, healing to perfection. And I would just like sit there and like hug myself and cry with myself and have pity parties. But I I was really just like nurturing, you know, that side of me that also needed to just feel sad and feel like cared for and feel like, oh, poor baby, like I can't believe this happened to you, like it's all gonna be okay, telling myself it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. And like to this day, I'm still like a little insecure about it, and I still like want to get a surgery because I feel like there's like some scar tissue there. But like the actual look of my mouth, even like from last year to this year, it looks so much better. Like it looks almost like normal again. And I'm still working with these affirmations, but like I've seen myself transform. But yeah, in that girl's video, she was talking about like literally transforming anything. Like if you want a smaller nose, or if you want, you know, like bigger breasts, or if you want, you know, like more toned arms and stuff, like you can literally do this with your mindset. Why I think this also works too is like, yeah, like if you're telling yourself that like, if it were like, I want toned arms, for example, if that was my thing, it's not specifically my thing, but like, okay, I want toned arms, toned arms, toned arms. If that was something I really wanted so badly, and I was telling myself my arms are toned, my arms are toned, my arms are toned, like I'm gonna feel like working out more. I'm going to feel like doing the things. Like if you tell yourself something, you're going to like act as if, right? You're gonna act as if that thing is like, the more, especially the more that you do it, the more that you work with your affirmations, the more that you believe them, the more that you start to actually create the patterns, you know, and of like a successful person, or a beautiful person, or a loving person, or whatever it is that you're trying to cultivate in your life. Okay. Yeah, okay, so Don Miguel Ruiz, we were going to get back to that point when I confused him with Don Juan. Don Miguel Ruiz wrote the book, The Four Agreements. I'm pretty sure that's his name. And the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. Why? Because words are spells. And that guy, I mean, I guess he's probably like into wizardry or something. He seems pretty magical, but it was definitely like, that book is all about like mindset and just like how to shift your reality based on mindset alone. And like how you're approaching things. It's like, I think it's be impeccable with your word, like don't take things personally. I forget the third one, and the fourth one is like, do the best that you can in any given moment with like what you have or something, and forgive yourself if you're not perfect. Okay, so but yeah, be impeccable with your word. Why is that the number one most important thing? Because like your word is what, like your spoken word, and especially written word, like that is like you're setting something in stone. Like, you know, have you ever like said something to somebody and it was like a fleeting comment? Or rather, like, let's use an example of like, if you heard a fleeting comment from somebody, like from when maybe like you were younger and somebody told you were annoying, right? Like as a kid, that literally could have sat with you for your entire rest of your life. And if you like, you know, believe that, if you believe, because not all words are true, not all words are true, there's a lot of lies out there. Okay, like whatever you believe is going to manifest. So like if that's the story that you end up telling yourself just because somebody said that to you, like, okay, I'm annoying, like then you're like you're gonna become like more inhibited. You're gonna go the opposite direction, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm loud and I don't give a F, you know, whatever. So either way, like, no, you want to obviously like believe, I think most people want to believe that they're not annoying and that people love them. You know, or say somebody said to you like, oh, like, you know, your nose is too big. We'll go back to that example again. Your nose is too big. Like if you like take that inward and you like, you know, internalize that, like you're going to believe it, then, you know, yeah, that's the story you're going to start telling yourself. You're going to feel like insecure. Be impeccable with your word. Yeah, like we're literally scripting our whole lives. We are scripting out our lives with what we tell ourselves. There's actually a magical philosophy about scripting and storytelling, so you can actually like write the future story of like what you want to happen as if it already happened. And that's another way to like, you know, affirm something positive that you are really wanting for your reality, as opposed to like just having to go with whatever was dealt to you by external influences. Yeah, so okay, I hope that was helpful, and I'm gonna go ahead and end the video soon, you know, and end it on that note and get on with my evening. But I am really grateful that you are here today, and please like and subscribe if you want more information like this. I'm going to be giving a lot of videos, posting a lot of videos about, you know, wellness and magical mindset, abundance mindset, everything that goes along with living the abundance priestess lifestyle. I'm going to get into storytelling too and tell you some of the most magical things that have happened to me. And another whole part of my channel too, if you're interested in learning tarot, I am going to be making a lot of videos on how to read tarot and how to also just like give good readings. I'll get into the nitty gritty of like how I do my readings and how to like make an impact with clients, how to be accurate, how to strengthen your intuition in combination with tarot to give really powerful life transforming readings. And this can apply to other areas of your life as well. If you're trying to just get more magical, even if you're not going to like read tarot professionally, but if you want to get your own deck and start, like reading for yourself and understanding better about what's going on in your daily life with tarot, that is something that hopefully you will be inspired by after watching my videos. All right, blessings everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm wishing you a blessed, magical day and rest of your lives. I'll see you again on the next video.